Good morning. Welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. Is it coming? Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Kevin Allen Schmid, the music director, and it's our pleasure to have a... All right. There we are. It's our pleasure to present a music service this morning. And it is our honor to have Professor of Harp Jill Whitman from Western Washington University as our guest. She has many students and has played her life long and has an ensemble called the Noel Ensemble that has been performing about. And as much a privilege it is for us to have her here, it is that we have Western in this town. And I'm always glad that we can collaborate with these world-class artists that come to share their music with us. Jill will play a piece for a prelude, and later on she'll play a little bit for the kids.
Good morning. Somebody was taller than I am. Would you take out your hymnals, please, to number 241 and stand, if you're willing and able, to sing In the Bleak Midwinter. may be seated. My name is Reverend Barbara Gilday. In this season of giving and receiving, our buff choir brings you today the gift of music. We who sing in the choir do it because music fills our beings with joy. It's part of who we are, like birds who cannot exist without singing. But our joy is only fulfilled when you, the listeners, are inspired and likewise filled with joy. This morning, we humbly bring you the gift of our authentic musical selves. As Kevin lights our chalice, we bring not our busy selves, not our super polished selves, but the imperfect, vulnerable human beings that we are, who try and fail and try again. We who have patience, we who have the patience to persevere until the beauty of our song is worthy of your ears. We are the ones who fall to our knees with the joy of music. It is our wish that you too will share our joy, for it is only with you that the musical experience will be complete. And now will the choir, some of you come forward and some of you line up. Oops, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We're going to do the covenant first. Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Okay. So, sorry, choir. Will you say together the covenant with me? Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant. And now Jill is going to introduce the children to the harp. So, if any children, young or old, would like to come up.
Yes, welcoming all children, really, truly. What I would just love to have the little ones and the big ones, children at heart, certainly. You can come up here. And I'm going to maneuver the harp around a little bit, so sure, why don't I take that instead? Thank you. No, not on. It is on, but it's not on. It says it's green. No? Okay, I guess we're, hello? Hello? We're back. We're back again. Okay, good. Now, what you have here is a what we call a concert grand harp. It's a bit like a grand piano, but you can see that it's upright as opposed to lying down. Now, if we opened up the board of the piano and looked inside, we would see basically a harp that looks like that inside the piano. So the harp itself is one of the most ancient instruments of all. They're many thousands of years old. We have harps that have been found in Egyptian tombs and tombs of Ur. In fact, the oldest piece of music ever found in cuneiform tablet was a hymn written for the Creator with harp accompaniment, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, the concert harp differs a bit from Celtic harps in that at the base of my feet, I have 7 pedals. I'm going to put this mic down and turn the harp around, and any curious onlookers can certainly see. Can you see the 7 pedals at the base of the harp? Great. So these 7 pedals now function to make all the sharps and flats on the harp. So if I have a sound that's like this, for example, let's say C flat, then I can make C natural by pushing a pedal and C sharp by pushing another pedal. So it's essentially that I have all of the black notes of the keyboard at my feet. But my feet are very busy because I need to change keys quite a bit. Now the beauty, the signature sound of the harp is what we call a glissando. And the glissando is made by changing pedals around so that, for example, if I have A flat and G sharp for all of the music buffs, I will have the same note. And if I have D sharp and E flat, I have the same note. If it's in tune, right? And so I can create a pentatonic scale by getting rid of certain notes. So now I no longer have any E's or D's. They don't exist on the harp. Neither do G's or A's anymore. And then I'll get the set. And essentially what you're hearing is lots of notes together, but it's a pentatonic scale. It's the double notes, which is that very pleasant sound that nothing but the harp can actually get, right? In the different keys. So that's something special about the harp. I have 47 strings, and they are color-coded. So I need to see where I am with my strings. Sometimes it's a little disconcerting because I might see you through the strings, or I might turn the harp and see you through the strings, or anything can be different. A carpet with all kinds of patterns, and all of a sudden my eyes are seeing my strings and then lots of pattern behind it. So that's a bit of a challenge to work through strings in different environments. Now, these pedals down below are attached to rods inside the column, and they come up into a steel mechanism inside the harp of over 1,200 moving parts. And none of which are the same size, I might add, except a few of the screws. So it is a bit of a mechanical wonder invented in France, well, maybe 150, 200 years ago. So this is the nature of the harp. When I play, I'm only using my thumb and first 3 fingers because the pinky is too small to reach the string sideways. And when I play, I'm using, it's like playing the piano with one hand like this and one hand playing like that. So because I'm sideways on the harp. So a little bit of rethink mentally when one's on the harp, but definitely playable. And so I'm thinking that, what's your name? Eli. I think Eli should come up and play the harp. So Eli, and I'm just going to turn it around again so we have a little more stability. Okay. And you're just the perfect size. So you sit down right. You sit right at the harp, and now the harp goes on the right shoulder, unless you're Welsh. Anybody Welsh here goes on the left shoulder. Okay, so pull the harp back, and it balances. It has a balance point on the shoulder, so it's actually fairly lightweight. The harp itself is about 100 pounds, but right, doesn't he look great? You look wonderful. Now, when you're playing a glissando, you take one hand, your fingers like a cup, make a firm cup with your hand, perfect, good hand position. And we put this elbow up a bit. Now you're just going to draw your second finger across the string. And then when you play down, you put your thumb up, and you put your thumb on and go down. And try it with the other hand. Yeah, just pull it. Yeah. That's right, and then down. Yes. That nice. Now, we're going to switch, you stay right there. We're going to switch the pedals around to C major, and I'm sure that you know this tune. It's called Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You know it? Yeah. Okay. What instrument do you play?
I play the clarinet.
Okay, well, you know it in multiple keys then, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
So here's C, and you get to start. Why don't you pick out Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and there's the next one, okay? So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your second finger, and you're going to pluck it like this. That's it. And raise on the long tones, beautiful. Can you keep going? So there we go. Wonderful performance. And let's see, we have, Lisa, would you like to come and try to pluck the harp too? You just want to watch it? No, we're just be observing this time. So thank you very much, Elaine. And feel free to come up after the service and the performance today and have a look at the strings and the harp and ask me more questions that I didn't answer.
And let's sing the children out now, singing Go Now in Peace. Peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. A few announcements. First one is that we will have a caroling group go out on Tuesday night, Tuesday the 20th. Meet here at the church and find the details in your order of service or in the bulletin. Is the mic on? The mic is on.
Nothing for you to do.
Hello, hello. Is there another mic that's working? But that one wasn't working. Let's try.
That one wasn't working before. It says green, but it wasn't. These ones work, right?
Yeah. Okay, just briefly to say that the caroling service, the caroling activity will be on the 20th, Tuesday the 20th, and we meet here at the church, and you can find the details in the newsletters. Secondly, an invitation for anybody who loves to sing to learn 2 songs in the next couple of Wednesday nights at our choir practice for our Christmas Eve service. And for you to look in the order of service, etc., for information about the Christmas Eve service. And thirdly, we have this wonderful display of world gifts outside, and we also have someone with an auction table for you to bring your creative ideas, and we have many already, but inviting more to that table, or to send them to me, Barbara Gilday. And fourthly, come to the potluck downstairs afterwards, whether you brought something or not. And now some remarks about the ceremony of carols. Benjamin Britten, was one of the 20th century's most revered composers. He wrote this 30-minute major work in 1942 during the World War. He was only 29 years of age. And this carol cantata was composed on his sea voyage from the United States to England with his personal and professional partner, Peter Pears. You may notice that a few of the 10 movements incorporate verbal and harmonic images of battle. The sea crossing, of course, was not without the risk from German submarines. The work begins and ends with the Latin Hodie, Christus natus est, today Christ is born. The rest of the lyrics are taken from Middle English poetry, evoking a Yuletide atmosphere imbued with a medieval worldview in which Britain chose to tell the Christmas story. However, the choral writing is entirely modern, challenging the singers with compelling rhythms and complex harmonies, which any of us in the choir will be happy to tell you about. We invite you now to relax and allow yourselves to be transported to another era, but to an old familiar story of mystery and hope. And now, would the choir members, some of you come up here and some of you lining up down there.
but not there too. Whoso attendeth to her song and leaveth the verse and doth he wrong. And then
You see what I mean about the harmonies and rhythms? Our thanks to Kevin, our wonderful director. And to Ruth Ann Hamlin, who helps us all on Saturdays. To Melanie, who's here faithfully every Wednesday night to rehearse with us. And we're especially grateful for the presence of Jill today. You bring such a sparkle. Christmas is a time we give of ourselves in so many ways. Today we have the opportunity to give our social justice offering to the Restorative Community Coalition. I'm pleased to introduce Irene Morgan to tell you about their newest project in helping folks with conviction histories. We'll be followed by Rose Eddington, who will share how and why she has become interested and involved in this particular group and those they serve. Irene?
Oh, I do get a podium. Okay. Good morning and thank you. Thank you all. I've been here a few other times and I'm so grateful for all of you who are so benevolent and generous to help us. I'm so pleased that you find our cause as important as we do. There's so many people that are, boy, I didn't expect this emotion, that are really targets. And what most people don't understand is the system works very well because it's designed that way. And the people going through the justice system, or the legal system as it's now being called, don't get justice. And that's what we've been focusing on. I started the coalition in 2006, starting out as the Reentry Coalition, and changed our name in 2013, I believe, to the Restorative Community Coalition because we realized that's what we were doing more than just reentry. And I'm so pleased that Beth Brownfield especially has supported us through the years, along with many others in this audience and who aren't here today. And then Rose and Mel, we met just this fall, I believe, and saw that we had, or felt that we had value and have joined us. So, and Rose wrote and Mel wrote the insert in your program today. Actually, this week, I believe, is the 1-year anniversary of our podcast, I Change Justice podcast. You can find it on our website, and it's on Spotify and Facebook and YouTube and several other places. And the 28th of this month, our anniversary is actually the 27th of December, but on the 28th, we're going to celebrate our 16th year with a in-person invite to our office on Bakerview, and we'll also be doing it by Zoom. And I have been flying by the seat of my pants. That's what I do. That's what I do best, is just, I'm curious. I never give up. I've known there was something wrong with the system for a long, long time, and just kept poking around in places most people didn't want me to be, and just go home and be good wife, Irene. That's not, don't tell me that. And my husband fully supports me, kind of. I wouldn't be here without him. And I want to say a thank you for Joy Gilfillan, our president. She's just brilliant, and none of us, I wouldn't be here tonight without her brilliance and expertise. I started doing case intercept, not knowing that's what it was, and then started case managing people, and then I developed the court navigator system. I've spent hours and hours in the courts in our, oh my gosh, already? So What I've done recently is help people vacate and seal their records, which is a must for getting employment, housing, and all the things that people need to be successful. The barriers are huge. And one of the people I started working with in 2015, he's in jail right now, actually, and he wrote me a letter and said that the most important thing, we know housing is important, we know education and employment is employment, but he says, I need the support of my fellow human being. I need human contact. And I think we pretty much realized that with COVID. We need each other. And so community is what we're building. And so thank you very much again. I'm going to let Rose take over now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Irene, and thank you, congregation. I first met Irene and got to know about the Restorative Community Coalition when, as Irene mentioned, Beth Brownfield. Well, Beth let my spouse, Mel Hoover, and me know about a series of workshops that RCC sponsored this past September. And it turned out that Beth was right that we might be interested, and the workshops were helpful to us in learning more about Whatcom County and about the issues RCC works with, because we're still fairly new to Bellingham area. But a question that stuck with me from that week is, how does Whatcom County, one of the wealthiest counties in the nation, care for what is biblically called the least of these, who are our siblings? As UU ministers, it's the same question Mel and I asked in our co-ministry in West Virginia, except we were definitely not in a wealthy county. There we were supporters of Covenant House, which is similar to RCC. Like RCC, Covenant House was initially known for providing direct services to those most in need, but it also wanted to solve the reasons direct services were needed in the first place and became very effective at education and advocacy. From my experience there, I know it is possible to meet needs and advocate on social justice issues at the same time. So RCC has been probably most known for providing direct services for 16 years as part of its three-pronged approach that's outlined in your order of service insert. As we emerge from COVID restrictions, the time is right for RCC to especially emphasize the third focus by asking, what kind of community do we in Bellingham and Whatcom County want to be? How can we become a just, inclusive community? How do we create a caring community where everyone can be respected, safe, and healthy? And as I thought about this, it said they sound to me like the same questions we are asking here at Buff when we ask, what does it mean to create a beloved community within the walls of this congregation and beyond our walls? It's possible that we might become a site for some community conversations to get at answering these questions. So in closing, I'd just like to say thank you for supporting RCC in the past and now as it begins its next chapter of meeting needs and solving community concerns.
Thank you, Irene and Rose. Will the ushers please come forward, and would you start with the choir, please? Thank you, Melanie. Microphone? Thank you, Melanie. And thank you all for your generosity. Would you join me now in singing hymn number 224? Stand if you're willing or able. And so our time together is ended for this gathering. We are left to ponder the old stories and their meaning for us. For me, the core of the story is the giving and receiving of love. May we all be imbued with hope, love, joy, and peace in this season of endings and new beginnings. And above all, may all that we do in the coming weeks reflect our love for one another and for our love of this world. Amen and blessed be. Please join together in whatever way you can, elbows, hands, shoulders, and sing together Circle Round for Freedom, followed by potluck downstairs.